I'm not sure what this is.
Good afternoon and bonjour, everyone. My name is Glenn Ellis from Smith College. I'm the moderator for this session. This session is session 1, Analytic Tools to Support Knowledge Advancement. I know this is something that we are very excited to see what the latest is. And so we'll have 20 minutes per speaker.
Good afternoon, I'm Seng Chi from Singapore. First, I must say that my presentation is not on analytic tools, even though it's on Web 2.0 tools. Okay. And second thing is I'm fighting two things now. One is fighting a jet lag, and second is fighting a cold. So I'm not very coherent today. I'll keep my presentation very short, as short as possible. Okay. Now I'm talking about leveraging Web 2.0 tools for knowledge building. I think knowledge building research is one of the few research where the pedagogy is developing in tandem with the supportive technologies. Unlike many other cases where we have the technology first, and we try to find some application for the technology in education, knowledge building is not. And I think from the first generation of CISO, computer-supported intentional learning environment to knowledge forum, they're designed to support idea-centric pedagogy. And I've been teaching a graduate course on knowledge building for several years. One of the questions that many of the graduate students ask me is, how many principles must we fulfill before you can call it knowledge building? You know, we have 12 principles of knowledge building, and this question keeps popping up every year, like as if you have to fulfill the 12 principles before you can call it knowledge building. And so I've been asked this question many times. And one of the things, I think, one of the key features of knowledge building is idea-centric pedagogy. Kate did a research many years ago. I think the title of the project is called Idea First. I think we all agree that idea-centric pedagogy is one key feature of knowledge building. And if you look at Knowledge Forum, several features support this idea-centric pedagogies. For instance, you look at the authentic idea. You have idea being a central piece in this Knowledge Forum. You have idea diversity, a forum that allow many users to come in to represent the different views or different perspectives on the same topic. You have improvable ideas, many features like building on, referencing, annotate, rise above, that support this progressive improvement of ideas, and of course, rise above. So these are regular features of Knowledge Forum. Now, Web 2.0, why Web 2.0? Because of the recent emergence of many Web 2.0 tools. If you just do a Google you'll find many Web 2.0 tools coming out every year, and they're so popular. And one thing about Web 2.0 tools is, unlike Web 1.0, where there's one directional flow of information, Web 2.0 support this, what we call the creation of artifacts. So it's not just one directional, but two directional. So they're there for the users to create something and pump back to the web. So you have new identity of prosumer. Excuse me, sorry. See, I'm not very coherent today. Okay, identity of prosumer. So not just consumer, but producer of knowledge artifacts. So it seems that Web 2.0 tools is quite consistent with the knowledge creation paradigm of learning. Right. And we have many reports on the use of Web 2.0 tools for knowledge building. If you look at this title here, it's a bit small. It says, a systemic and cognitive view on collaborative knowledge building with wikis. And another paper on wikis and knowledge building. So again, I've been asked this question many times by my graduate students. Can we use other tools for knowledge building, like wikis, like blogs? Okay. So this is one question that I think is worth exploring. Can we use other Web 2.0 tools for knowledge building? And this is what I'm trying to explore in this paper. Okay. I'm not talking about implementation, but talking about how to find a match between the tools and knowledge building. But key idea here is there must be tight coupling of the pedagogy and the tools and the technology. Now, there are limitations of using other technologies to support knowledge building. One of the things that we've been trying to do, for instance, in building up the knowledge building culture, is to get the students to use post-it pad to represent their ideas. Okay, so they use post-it pad, and then they write the idea there, and they can do build on. Okay, I think this is one of the things that we see in many classrooms. But after a while, you find that this is not sustainable because it cannot support pervasive knowledge building. How are you going to move the post-it pad from one session to the next? And how are you going to grow the students' ideas? And in Singapore, we do share classrooms. Students stay in the classroom, and when the bell rings, another teacher comes in. So you have science lesson in one hour, and then followed by maths lesson. So can you imagine the teachers have to keep taking out the post-it pad after 1 hour, and then put it back again the next session. Okay. So it's something that's not sustainable, even though you can use it to build the culture of idea-centric pedagogy and idea improvement. But on the other hand, you can also use the knowledge forum the wrong way. Okay, for instance, use the analytic tools to count the number of participation. I remember many years ago when I started doing knowledge building, in one of the schools. Carl and Martin were there, and they were very shocked because the students were using Knowledge Forum as a chat tool. So within a short 5 minutes, you can see this spider web growing, and it freezes the Knowledge Forum. Okay. So you can also use the Knowledge Forum in the wrong way. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there must be tight coupling, a match between the pedagogy and the technology here. And it's really difficult to find tools that fit all the knowledge building principles because they're not designed for that. So I'm trying to explore ways to complement Knowledge Forum with some of the Web 2.0 tools. And one of the ways to do it is actually to have other tools, other ways of representing ideas. And for instance, this is a tool, Educreation, that allows the user to record their voice and their drawing. So it's like a recordable, interactive whiteboard. And a normal way of using it, a teacher will produce video lessons for the students, put it on a learning management system to explain the concept. Now, of course, in knowledge building, we don't do that. But we can ask the students to use these tools to create some ways to express their ideas about certain things. For instance, a water cycle. Okay? Because water cycle is something that is processed. So using text may not be so powerful. This kind of tool allows students to narrate and talk about the idea about the process. And we can embed this into their Knowledge Forum notes, for instance. Okay, so this is a way to extend the way the students can express their idea. Another way of looking at idea representation is concept mapping for Rise Above. I think this morning Carl talked about this, integrating different ideas. And I thought that concept map is one very good way to integrate ideas, because concept map contains many ideas, concept terms. Concept map asks the students to write, to explore the relationships between the concepts and hierarchies of the concept. So this is one way where the students can do a Rise Above, integrating different ideas, and looking at how the ideas relate to one another. As far as concept map is concerned, there are many tools that can help us to do concept mapping, like CMap, Poplet, MyDomo, SliderScribe, Bubble. Now, these tools are very easy to use, okay, and you can actually incorporate multimedia elements inside the tools. And you can actually do online collaboration. So if you can do that, and then again you can put a link to a Knowledge Forum note, okay, that's one way to actually incorporate different ideas together as a Rise Above. Another way to do a Rise Above is perhaps tools like Gloster, which is actually a multimedia, a multimodal e-poster. Okay. Again, now a teacher can create this as an instructive tool. Okay. But for knowledge building, perhaps you can ask the students as a Rise Above to incorporate all these different ideas as a capstone kind of presentation for their discussion. Okay. You can have pictures, you can have video, and you can text together. So this is another way to represent the ideas. Okay, yet another useful tool for knowledge building is perhaps curation tool. Okay, we'll talk about constructive use of authoritative sources. Now, what is curation? Curation is an active process where you collect content or artifacts to be selected, to be preserved for future access. Now, in digital media, especially social media, you can use this to disseminate collected content. And you can actually pull the resources together, you can suggest content or leave comments, and you can actually evaluate the resources. Now, tools like Diego, for instance, besides allowing you to bookmark the web page, it allows you to categorize, tag, capture the web page for future use, highlight the key phrases, annotate with sticky notes, share, and even form a community together to pull together resources. So again, I think this is one good ways of pulling together resources, okay, for particular investigation, okay, using Diego or other types of social curation tools. I must admit that I have not explored all the Web 2.0 tools because it's impossible. They're coming up so often. But we do have cases of misfit. What do we mean misfit? For instance, wikis and blogs, which I find not suitable for knowledge building, even though they have all these publications about using wikis for knowledge building. But if you read these articles, you'll find that the notion of knowledge building is quite different from the notion that we probably agree on here. Okay? The notion of knowledge building, I think for this article, for instance, focuses on causation theory of cognitive dissonance and exchange of ideas in a sense. Why do I say it's not suitable? Because wikis or blogs focus on big essay, where there are many ideas embedded inside the essay. Okay, it's quite different from idea-centric knowledge building. There are too many embedded ideas. Another case of misfit is when we use learning management systems like Facebook. Okay, there's also fake book, okay, which is a version of Facebook in education context. Now, why do I say it's not suitable? Because Facebook or learning management systems focus on course administration, focus on managing learning, efficiency of course administration. And even though they have discussion forum, but I find that many of this forum actually do not have supportive structure to support idea-centric, idea improvement kind of pedagogy. So conclusion. What I'm trying to do in this paper is to try to find ways to complement knowledge forum with Web 2.0 tools. And I think that important things to consider are, for instance, whether the tool allows us to construct our ideas with appropriate level of granularity. Okay? So it must be focused on certain ideas, not too many ideas, and certain degree of embeddedness. It must support collaborative work on the same artifact or critical use of information with respect to inquiry. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Any question?
We have time for question discussion.
Yes.
Concept maps seem promising because they are a way to represent connected ideas. But they're very hard for individuals to produce. And when different students